Hey guys, my name is Damien Peters and welcome to the very first Classic Performance Breakdown. Today, I'll be breaking down Kyrie Irving's career-high 57 points for the Cleveland Cavaliers against the San Antonio Spurs in 2015, so let's get right into it. On the first possession, the Cavs run a nice set as Kyrie Irving calls Kevin Love to the elbow to receive the ball. This is predetermined, as Irving is going to use the Timofey Mozgov screen off the ball to create space against Tony Parker. This play opens the opportunity for Irving to get all the way to the rim to finish, but with Parker blocking off that lane, Irving intelligently uses the space to his advantage, and with one dribble, a short step-back jumper leaves Parker no chance to contest the shot. On the next possession, it's evident the Spurs want the big to show to Kyrie on every screen and roll. It's also evident Parker is going to have a tough time containing Irving all night long. Kevin Love comes up for the screen but slips to the top of the key. Boris Diaw isn't the quickest laterally, so his show to Kyrie is ineffective. Parker is late as Irving turns around the corner with speed and finds himself wide open in the lane for an easy floater. So far, every time down Irving has used the space created by the screener, but what makes great scorers so tough to guard is that they always keep the defense off balance, and Irving does this on the next play. James Jones comes up for a routine screen. The Spurs are anticipating Irving to use the space he would create, but instead Irving crosses over away from the screen, taking out two defenders in the process, giving himself ample space and giving himself a huge head start towards the basket. Thiago Splitter is already starting to backpedal against momentum, and Irving drives straight at him before Euro-stepping for the finish. The next play looks quite simple, and although it is, there is still some high-level intelligence from Irving. Timofey Mozgov comes up for a screen, and Irving goes quickly to use the big body of his center for just enough space. By going slightly early, Irving understands the opposing big man Tim Duncan has to make a quick decision, and more often than not, will have no choice but to stay home. Duncan can't manage that at this stage of his career. Irving knows Parker's contest will not bother his shot, and he rises up for the long two-pointer. There's a couple different actions from Irving on this next possession. Initially, Kyrie uses the Mozgov screen and explores what type of space and angle it will provide. The outcome isn't as great as the Spurs are set out with Duncan patrolling the paint and the help defender stepping off the corner to reduce the space to work with. Irving needs to counter and he spins into Parker to protect the ball and utilizes the Mozgov screen again into the middle of the lane where he knows there will be more room to work. His one dribble shot hesitation then freezes Parker just enough for Irving to attack Duncan and the rim, and there's not many players in the league that can make this shot off the glass for the bucket. As LeBron is dribbling up the floor after a miss, Irving is already surveying the defense to see where he can attack next. He's had his way so far against Tony Parker and identifies him in a somewhat isolated and vulnerable position defensively as the Spurs are trying to match up in transition. As soon as he receives the ball off James, he explodes towards Parker, producing the possibility of any help defenders to effect this action. A quick crossover sees him go around Parker for the off-balance finish. On the next possession, Irving finds himself in semi-transition off the Spurs make. Because Parker has been battling screens for the majority of the contest, and Irving has had recent success in the lane on previous plays, Parker anticipates Irving will use the Mozgov screen to attack the middle again. But Irving is again intelligent with his offensive mix-up, and attacks the baseline hard after a hesitation dribble. He has superior speed, quickness and strength over Parker, and he gets all the way to the rim and finishes with the and one. Irving finds himself in the half court on the next play, still being guarded by Parker. At this stage, Irving is feeling good and knows Parker cannot handle him. He uses the Mozgov screen again, gives Parker the eyes and the indication he's going into the lane, but with his incredible dribbling ability, his behind-the-back dribble moves move him into space and create huge separation, and another rhythm dribble then sees him rise up and nail the three-pointer. The Spurs try to change things on the next possession by putting the bigger body of Danny Green on Irving. Green may have the size on Kyrie, but he can't match him with quickness. Green also tries to pick up Irving full court, which he's hoping will disrupt his rhythm or even better make him give up the ball. Instead, Irving uses an explosive dribble to get by Green, and then intelligently keeps Green on his hip to eliminate his ability to recover. This leaves the lane wide open and Irving attacks again for another impressive finish over Duncan. The next play sees the Cavs run some weave action with Irving as the eventual recipient. Kyrie starts with the ball but gives it up to travel the baseline before receiving a handoff from LeBron, creating momentum and movement. Mozgov again is involved as Irving receives the handoff. Mozgov is there to impede the trailing Parker. After James and Mozgov come up, Parker needs to make up a lot of ground to affect the action defensively. Irving knows Parker is coming hard, so stops on a dime at the top of the key in the hopes to get a call. He doesn't get it, but he still sinks the tough three-pointer. The second half starts and Parker is still on Irving. Halftime may have come and gone, but Irving is still feeling good. Mozgov comes up for the screen. Irving uses a space and is quick in his movement as Duncan steps up to contest the shot this time. He sets and drains yet another three-pointer. The Spurs put savvy vet Manu Ginobili on Irving on the next play in the hopes of slowing him down. Irving again uses a two-man action to make something happen. He goes around the screen set by James Jones, which involves a slower Boris Diaw and the possibility of James stepping out for the three. Because of this, Irving gets a step on Ginobili by changing his speed towards the paint. Kyrie then displays his brilliant ability to score the ball as he leans into the recovering Ginobili, eliminating him from contesting and bounces off him for the finish off the glass. He also avoids shot-blocking Duncan at the same time. On the next play, Kyrie has the ball in transition after a Kawhi Leonard turnover. No one picks up Irving and he recognizes it's only a backpedaling Thiago Splitter in front of him in the basket. Irving smartly turns on the speed so the Spurs can't get set and drives right into the lane with conviction. He goes up strong and powerful and finishes off the glass. There aren't many words that do the next play justice for Kyrie. Sometimes it's simply an offensive player in a special place as Irving puts on an absolute dribbling display against Marco Bellinelli and Thiago Splitter. Using his outstanding handle and mastery of angles, Irving slaloms through the defense for the incredibly tough finish off the glass. It's hard to break down such a special play, just a truly gifted offensive talent in a zone. The next Kyrie bucket sees the Cavs down 6 points with just 33.9 seconds remaining. They run a nice play for Irving to get him the ball in the corner for the three-pointer. Irving starts under the basket and runs a cross action with James Jones in the hopes of causing a mix-up with the Spurs that will free Irving or Jones for the three. Danny Green stays attached, but the secondary action the Cavs run is for Irving to use a Tristan Thompson screen and locate to a free area of the court. With a little help from Thompson, Kyrie finds himself in the corner with Danny Green right there in his airspace, but still manages to generate enough space to get it off and knock it down. With Kawhi Leonard missing 2 free throws, the Cavs have a chance with 3.1 seconds left to tie the game with a 3. They set up a familiar staggered line set used by a lot of NBA teams in late game situations, a set that gives players ability to move in each direction, causing confusion in the hopes of getting open. Initially, Irving stays put with Danny Green attached to him from behind, as James Jones and Iman Shumpert break into each corner. By doing so, they give Irving enough space to come towards the ball. Tony Parker calls for Green to switch off onto Shumpert as he goes towards the corner, but in doing so he gives Kyrie some daylight, utilizing a Tristan Thompson screen. LeBron hits Irving in stride. Irving takes an escape dribble to avoid Leonard, makes sure he's behind the line before rising up and nailing the three-pointer as time expires to send the game into overtime. On the next possession, Tristan Thompson pulls down the offensive rebound and finds Irving on the wing. LeBron vacates the space to give Irving room to work, and Tristan Thompson comes up to set the screen. Danny Green is attached, but a nasty crossover goes away from the screen and produces great separation for Irving to sink yet another three-pointer. Green is on Irving, but the action run with LeBron James switches Kawhi Leonard to defend Kyrie. Kawhi tries to step up and reduce the space Irving can work with, but Kyrie reacts quickly and explodes to go around him. With Leonard still having his hands on him and Parker coming to help on the drive, Kyrie gets into the lane for an extremely tough runner with the foul. The Cavs are up 1 with just 1.28 remaining on the next action and run what I believe was a set play to get Kyrie Irving open. LeBron drives into the lane before terminating the dribble. As this is developing, Kevin Love steps up to set a back pick on Kawhi Leonard, Irving's primary defender on this play. This in turn forces Boris Diaw to pick up Irving on the wing. With an obvious speed and quickness advantage, Irving moves Diaw laterally before creating enough space to drain yet another clutch long ball. The Spurs are eventually forced to foul and Irving sets his career high from the free throw line, becoming the only player in NBA history to ever score 50 or more points against Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs on their home floor in the Tim Duncan era. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Subscribe and stay tuned for more classic performance breakdowns throughout the season. I'll see you next time.